To focus on for my video is the differences in general education and vocational training, both in the U.S., where I'm from, and in Thailand, where I've been teaching for the last few years. So what I wanted to go over is, how in the last couple of decades there's been a huge lack of skilled workers in America, whether it be in plumbing or electricians and positions like that, and how we place more of an importance on obtaining a bachelor's degree or master's degree because that's what we think is going to get better paying jobs. Versus in Thailand, some of the commissions that have been created to help balance a ratio between vocational positions and positions that require master's or bachelor's degrees. So I'll be focusing on some of the statistics, funding, and commissions that have been put in place in Thailand. So here are some of the statistics for America. They have 80,000 skilled positions that will be unfilled or are unfilled. But one of the more important ones that I thought was very interesting is the 1 to 2 to 7 ratio of positions that require a master's degree versus bachelor's degree and associate's degree, because we urge so many students to go on to higher education and obtain these high-level degrees, but there are so many positions that need to be filled that could very well pay, the same or if not more with only an associate's degree, such as electricians and plumbers. So now I'd like to shift my focus from America to Thailand, where I've been teaching for the last few years, and see how they place more of an emphasis and importance on vocational education and training. So really what I will be focusing on is a couple of the policies or statistics and ideas that come from the Thai Vocational Education Commission. So this commission manages 416 vocational institutions of higher learning in Thailand. A lot of vocational education can start as early as 9th grade in Thailand. I know that in the States it used to be much different. My grandparents actually told me how they used to take woodshop classes and auto repair and things like that that are no longer present in a lot of schools, whether it be based on the lack of funding for these kind of courses or an importance placed in different areas. But in Thailand, they start very early, and they offer different levels of degrees or diplomas for these vocational programs, all the way up to a bachelor's degree. So a lot of these programs, they have hands-on training that'll benefit the students by being engaged in the actual field. So most of the programs here are about 3 years, with half of that time being spent in in the actual career, hands-on. And it's a bit different than what we would call an internship in the States, because they're actually getting paid and it's actually required in Thailand to complete the degree, whereas a lot of internships in the States, it's kind of just a bonus. And also it's usually unpaid. So some of the vocational tracks you can take in Thailand are pretty interesting. Some of them are very similar to the States, like, auto repair, home economics, wood shop, sewing, those kind of things. But they also have, fruit carving and traditional Thai dance. The main focus for this Vocational Education Commission is to, help drive Thailand's workforce. I think it's very important to focus on the differences in America's schooling and education versus Thailand in terms of vocational positions. Right now in Thailand, I believe it's 60% of students following a general education track, while 40% are following a vocational track. And the Thai government is trying to even out these ratios, so it's 50-50. And they put a lot of money into this Vocational Education Commission, which shows that they find place a very significant importance on vocational positions. And that really shifts the way a classroom works in Thailand. You don't teach as much to the test necessarily when you come to the higher grades, which will shift, of course, what the students are learning, what they're focusing on, what the teachers are teaching, and how they're teaching it. Those two different tracks of general education versus vocational training, I thought was an interesting and important topic to focus on.